Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast series. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about LGBTQ representations in Bollywood films with special guests Saloni and Jacob, and I hope you enjoy.
We're fine. Okay, so.
What happens if I wear the glasses like this?
All right, welcome back.
We're recording.
Yep, we're
Yes,
recording.
we're recording.
Keep the glasses on like this. I'll try.
Cut the tapes. Get out. Okay. It's you guys to say, right?
Yeah.
Jacob.
No, not that one. I meant, don't expose me.
Girl, I got grad schools to apply to.
Right.
Yeah.
This is
My nursing
Jacob.
program. This is not Jacob.
This is
No.
Jacob.
My nursing program is not gonna make
My name is Hayley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Solani. And that's
That's Jacob.
Yeah.
And that's not Jacob.
That's not Jacob. Sorry,
No.
I'm so sorry.
And you're watching Disney Channel.
I feel why my mind went to McDonald's.
Okay, but anyways,
What was the topic?
we're talking about Bollywood movies
Yay.
that
Representation.
represent,
Gayness.
LGBTQ
Gay rights.
community
Gay rights.
because,
Yes.
Because I wanted to.
It's
Yeah.
not ironic. We're having the straight person talk to us about gay representation.
The straightest
Love that.
person here.
yeah.
So let's
Oh, yeah.
Go.
Teach
Shall I
us.
start? Okay. So the first movie I remember, the first movie I watched that really talked about gay rights was a very, very cheesy movie called Dostana. And it's essentially two straight guys have a crush on the same girl. Now this same girl lives in an apartment that's owned by her aunt. So her aunt sets the rules on who's her roommate and who's not her roommate. So she clearly says that your roommate cannot be men because men are fucking assholes.
I mean, yeah.
Fair enough.
And she's like, you should also focus on your career too, because you're here in the U.S. by yourself, and I'm here to take care of you, right? So these two guys, Sam and Kunal, are kind of kicked out of their apartment, and they also really have a big crush on this girl. Her name, what's her name? Her
Who
name
cares?
is Neha, and she's played by Priyanka Chopra.
We love.
So what happens is that they find out that she needs a roommate. So what they decide to do is they decide to go in as a gay couple to become her roommates.
Honestly, that's how I want my relationship to start. I want.
Oh, you're not gonna like dating.
Never mind. I did know what. That's not how I want to.
So
I retract my statement.
Yeah.
So they move into her apartment as a gay couple that's trying to get married.
Okay.
So Neha works in the fashion industry because that's what girls did apparently in the 2000s.
Yeah,
besides Indian girls that did not go to medicine or engineering, apparently went to fashion.
Let's go next time.
I mean, yeah.
Honestly, I can't say much about fashion, but I mean, go off.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I'm here in sweatpants. So I spend 24/7 in sweatpants. So
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
wearing
like-
these pants.
and graphic
It's the
tees.
third one is.
Yeah, I.
Got that shit.
Anyways, so shit happens, and they have to keep up the act as if they're a gay couple. When these two are straight as fuck. They're
Yeah.
very straight, but acting as a gay couple. And shit happens, and Neha's, who was supposed to be up for a promotion, so her boss is gay, and so she invited her boss home to have dinner, and let's just say his gaydar kind of didn't clock them as gay. And so because of that, she didn't get the promotion.
What?
How
But
is
she
that?
doesn't know. She still thinks that her
Okay.
roommates are gay.
So how? Okay, okay, we might need to cut this.
I might
How
be
would
wrong.
you be able to prove it? Like,
Oh, because they were like, how do you say it? To her, they put on like, their gay act seemed very fake.
Oh, did they like do like an accent and
oh my
everything?
god, like that?
Like,
I don't like. It was like, how do you?
Like, I feel like the only I don't even know. I'm not gonna say it because like,
It was just, how do you say it? It didn't seem right
It
to him
didn't
because he
vibe,
flirted
wasn't
with them, and they were
Oh.
like,
they weren't getting like they
No,
weren't.
they
yeah, they
weren't
kind of
hot.
weren't like,
They weren't
they
hot
weren't
with
here
it.
for it. Well, okay, and that kind of makes sense because they are like engaged and they were trying to get married too.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, some shit happened and the boss wasn't happy that they like no one like
Boss wanted
reciprocated.
to do something. That's why.
Probably, but there was like also an immigration officer. I don't remember.
What?
Yeah, there was like a gay.
Hold on.
There was also a
Hold on.
gay immigration officer. There was a dancing scene
That
at
is-
one point. Things are janky in my memory. Okay, it's been a hot minute since I've seen this movie, but I do remember it's about gay people.
I can tell.
Not precipitating.
Precipitation.
Specifically on gay men, because the guy who produced the movie, this was like him testing the waters to see was it okay for him to come out.
Yeah, she was a raging homosexual. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Same.
practically, so she doesn't get the promotion, and instead a new guy comes in and replaces her old boss. And some shit happens, and they fall in love. The boss and Neha. So these two guys are like, why?
They may as well just commit
We-
to it.
Yeah, we called dibs on her, sort of
I'm
thing.
like, bitch, I
Oh,
thought you were gay. I thought you were gay. Hold on.
No, they like just still didn't say it, but they were like all trying to woo her in a way, and she was like, "Oh, look at them! They're being so nice and supportive and friendly and blah blah blah." And it's like, no, we are trying to make you fall in love with me, kind of thing. So
Oh,
they like
dear.
set out this whole plan to ruin her new relationship by like, because the guy, the boss has like a younger son, and they were like at a basketball game, and they were like telling the kid like, what happens if she was your mom? Your dad's gonna forget about you. And things like
What? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
they were like telling the kid things like that. And so,
The vilification of gay men, that just never stops, does it? Oh my god.
no, but they were straight. They're straight people who didn't like, they were just putting on the act of being gay.
That makes me specifically even more. Straight men
Exactly.
specifically.
And so then like the time comes and they're like at the front row seats of some basketball game. It was like the NBA's or something. They're like then they're like have like the front like in the front court seats. And so the dad goes to the bathroom. So it's her, the kid, and the dad who went to watch, and the dad went to the bathroom. So he was kind of like remembering what the guy said to him, and he was like kind of like fidgeting around and kind of like gonna start throwing a tantrum to like kind of test the waters if what they were saying is true, that she would be horrible to him and things like that. And she kind of ended up scolding him like, "Don't do that. That's it. We're in public." And he got sad, and just like as that was gonna start, his dad like turns out he didn't go to the bathroom, but got up in the middle of the stage to go propose to her. And she was like, yes. And the kid tells her what happened, and then like the whole engagement gets broken off, and now they're broken up, and she's like heartbroken. He's like, I loved him, and he's like, I loved her, but my child. And
Children ruin everything. Honestly, why children? Honestly, they should cut out that fucking show.
but like technically it's not his fault, because that's what like the two adults were telling him, like she's gonna be a
That's true.
horrible mom, and children are like so easy to influence. I told my brother, believed me, for like fucking almost like 15 years that I was a pro at Super Mario. He fully knew.
I'm so sorry.
It's
You're
okay.
fine. You just get to see the
He was like fully aware that like I do not play video games, especially not Mario, because I don't know, like I just never got into video games.
Yeah.
So, but he knew that, but he still, up until like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, genuinely thought I was a pro at Super Mario Bros. And I had to break it to him. I was like, my dude, that was like a lie I told you.
Yeah.
Like, I was just, like, fucking with you, and I totally thought you would forget about that, but it turns out, like, you're, 14, and you still think I'm pro at Super Mario Bros., knowing that, like, you knew that your whole life, like, I never played video games. So,
Stupid. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
practically.
Agreed.
So, right? So shit happens, and now she realizes that they were fucking with her relationship. Like, why? And they're like, we love you. And she's like, well, I don't. I thought you guys were like my genuine friends.
Oh.
And things like that. So they all like move out and kind of get on with life. And eventually they feel bad. They see like the guy, like her ex-fiance,
Oh, sorry.
and was like, well, we feel fucking horrible. So they kind of like, they go their own ways, and then they like kind of all like come back in touch, like, because they bumped into each other on the streets, and they realized she actually got back with her like ex-fiance, and she made up with a child. She's like, I'm sorry, I was just really nervous and things like that, because like, you know, and they're actually en route to get married, and they're actually happy for her now. And the movie, so she says that the only way she'll forgive them is that if they kiss each other in front of everyone, because she knew they were.
I mean,
She knew they were
this
straight.
could be what you want.
I mean, anything. I take anything at this point.
Yeah, so she knew they were like, this is like after she found out they were straight. She's like, the only way I'll forgive you guys is if you kiss each other. So one of the guys who like put on like, you know, the stereotypical gay man of like the flouncy and the,
Yeah.
you know,
Flamboyancy, yes.
yeah, the flamboyancy, was like, fuck no, I'm not kissing you. And the other guy just went in and kissed him in front of everyone.
We know
and-
what's happening now.
Yeah, and that's kind of how the movie ends. And they show like a end cut scene where it's like the guy, both of them were actually like thinking about the kiss, kind of hinting that they might be like bisexual now.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And might actually have
sequel?
No, there was
Please?
no sequel to. I don't think so. There's a sequel. I
Oh,
hope not, because like when they take these like old movies and they make sequels, it's horrible.
But
It just
gay.
because it never lives up to how good the original was.
So, I don't know, so-
Like they did that for like another movie called Bunty or Bubbly, and that's like that's a straight typical, you know, guy and girl fall in love, except they're both scam artists. That's well, they're scam artists together. They're a couple that scams
Live together, die together, scam together. That's
practically.
what I remember.
So they just like made a new sequel for that, and that was like fucking horrible. It was so bad. Like I couldn't get through like 20 minutes of the movie. Like 10 minutes and I was like, I can't do this, goodbye. Anyways, but yeah, that's why I hope they never make a sequel on this movie, because it will never live up to it. But
Honestly,
when did that come out?
so this came out in like 2008.
So
But I'm pretty sure there were more that were like older than this, but like I don't remember them because
is gay.
so this time this was like I think like because I remember reading a article about like the guy who directed the movie and the producer. His name is Karan Johar, and he's like now he's open and out about being gay. He's come out the closet, and he actually has like 2 twins. He's like a single father with 2 twins.
cool.
Oh, I was like, how do you thought it was 2 twins?
No, he adopted. No, he did like surrogacy,
Oh,
and he has
yeah.
like 2 twins through that. But he's a single father. He was like, I'm like 40 something now. There's no way I'll fall in love and get married, but I love my children. Anyways, I was like, you don't have to be like, you know, young to fall in love and get married. You can be married at like the age of 60.
Yeah.
You can get married.
That's gonna be us silly. Honestly, if
It's
I don't
like
get
both
married to
of
someone,
you
I
getting
might-
married together.
Honestly, if it doesn't work
If
out
it
for
don't
us,
work out,
If
I
it
mean,
don't work out,
We have low expectations.
I can be like the flower
we
person
gotta
at your
get that
wedding.
paycheck
Like,
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get that paycheck somehow.
Like,
That
yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
marriage.
We'll handshake at
Yeah.
the end of the ceremony
Yeah, just
instead
like-
of
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
No,
for
there's no way.
Best woman.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll be like the best woman on both sides. I'll be just like running around.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like periodically every
Chaos.
5 minutes switch the sides.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he like this was like almost just like testing the waters to see how the Indian community would react to like, you know, the LGBTQ plus like representation. I can see like on And I think it was taken like pretty well. And the movie overall had like amazing soundtracks, and it was really funny. And yeah, it earned quite a lot. It earned like 53 million on its opening day.
Holy crap.
And over like 100, well, this is in rupees, so like almost, yeah, it would still have earned a lot in dollars too. And over like 173 million rupees in its first weekend in on its first weekend. So
Pretty good.
yeah, I mean, people liked it overall.
But so like even government wise, what is
Oh.
gay marriage? When did gay marriage become?
If I'm not wrong, it like recently.
I want to say two things right now. So
Yeah.
first of all is I want to say how it's kind of, this first thing is not really anything related to it, but I just thought of it as like you were starting to express like the general like how the likeness of the show, but like there's this like over obsession of like these like young women of gay relationships. I just wanted to mention that, but there's this obsession with gayness, like being a gay male and being in a relationship.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah,
I know what you're getting
Like,
at.
oh, gay men must always be like the happiest, kind of like that.
There's like these.
I think that's a sham, because no relationship has its own issues. There's no relationship is like a truly happy relationship.
Yeah.
Like you will always have fights, and that's what makes a strong relationship, in my opinion, is that the ability to overcome those fights.
Additionally, there's this. I think this might need to be cut. There's this over sexualization of gay men relationships as well.
Yeah.
As
I
you
know.
know, as from the stories that we've read and stories that she fucking reads. She's a fucking participant.
They're like horny people all the time. They're like
Yeah.
always like hot body, like
Yeah.
6 packs, oiled up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a fat person. Hello. You gotta let them know. Yeah, okay. And then the second thing I want.
Anyways,
What?
nothing.
And the second I want to mention is it's still in the realm, but like I think it's very like amazing that like before even like gay marriage was legalized, that these like show was still like
Yeah, because gay,
like,
like, I mean, like now I see it, because like gay marriage only in India only got legalized on September 6th, 2018.
which is kind of shocking.
Well, yeah, right? So like I know there was like a thing like you couldn't even have like, there was apparently like a law in India at one point in time where you couldn't have anal sex.
Because it's gay.
Yeah, or something
Unless
like that.
you
You
have
just
shot.
couldn't have anal sex. And I remember this one comedian called Veer Das, who's like an Indian comedian. I watched this show in March in person. It was amazing. He's very pro about like pro LGBTQ plus, like very supportive. Most of the Indian comedians I find are. But yeah, he was like saying, I don't know why India has like banned that. India should be promoting it, considering we're so overpopulated. It should be fuck vaginal, do anal, or something like that. It should.
I love that. Honestly,
I support that.
that should be the slogan.
That's
every
India's,
country.
That should be India's slogan.
Yeah.
Fuck vagina, do anal.
No, that's how we'll combat overpopulation.
That's how you.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude. And like I find it so weird, cause like in other like I want to say mostly with China, like the one show that I have watched, like Chinese show. I think it was a show, not a movie, but I'm not too sure. At the time, but it was actually banned in China after slowly coming out because it showed homosexual like relations,
I know.
which I was hated because it was actually like a pretty nice show.
Yeah.
It was good representation.
I
as the
mean,
first one
yeah,
show.
there's definitely like, you can tell like people are very conservative. Like a lot of people I feel like in India are closeted, and I feel like, I mean, again, each person their own choice. People should only come out when they're comfortable coming
Oh,
out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I do understand that like a lot of the reason why people might be closeted is because there's so much pressure. Like, oh, when you're born, like, oh, you must do this, go into this career. Once you do that, you must go to this college, get married, have kids, and it's like, and like they always assume, oh, you should always naturally have kids, like through pregnancy and giving birth, and it's never like. So it's almost like, well, if I'm gay, there's no way I'm giving birth.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like, and I understand, and like not everyone's accepting, especially because like what I've realized is with my own like experiences with like talking to like people I know, and I won't say who they are.
Yeah.
But they can. I think like if you give them the shot, people could be more accepting about it. It's just the fact that there's so much miscommunication and there's not enough. Like people just don't know enough on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
It's just like a lack of knowledge, and that's where I feel like every person should go through a thing like, what are periods? What, like, homosexuality, it's not going to kill you.
No.
Suicide will, but not homosexuality.
Yeah,
Even
what is mental health? Like, things
Yeah.
like that. There's like, and I don't think it's just like specific to India. I feel like the whole world needs it because there's so many people who just,
There's so many ignorant.
it's kind of like, there are people who know about it and are ignorant and just hate like against it, and those people, no matter how much hard we try, I feel like they're always going to be stuck in their own ways.
Oh,
And
yeah.
It's like
and they
the
definitely
willful ignorance. Like they know about it, they just choose not.
they just
to care
choose
about
not to believe it, right? But
Yeah.
there are some people who I feel like say these things, and it's because they're just not knowledgeable on the topic. They just don't know enough, and for that reason, it's so important to educate other people.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like really happy with the Bollywood industry because they're coming out with so many like more LGBTQ plus, because everyone loves watching a good movie, and movies are the best ways to educate, like
Yeah.
what's wrong in today's society and like how do we fix that.
Yeah, I mean, movies are like they're open to like a vast amount of people, and like you've seen like childhoods being shaped by movies. I mean, I did a research paper specifically talking about
Yeah.
the effects of like
Diversity.
diversity in movie films that led to like
Yeah.
a more conservative or like less open view on the world.
Exactly, and like like a lot of Islamophobia is actually because I did a paper on this like last semester for my IAH class, was actually like you're shaped by the movies you watch as a child, and a lot of times, and especially like Hollywood movies before like older ones, a lot of the villains, if you notice it, were Muslims. So obviously there's
Yeah.
going to be blatant Islamophobia,
Yeah,
and until you teach yourself about it or someone teaches you about it and you decide to be like, okay, let's venture into it and let's see what it's actually about,
yeah,
you're always gonna like be in that one mindset until you kind of like open
Yeah.
up about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad where India's going with LGBT. Yes, it's taking time, but for a country so set in traditions and things like that, regardless, it's going at least somewhere. Unlike the
Yeah.
constructions
Yeah.
in India, literally, there's a
Same here.
there's a metro station being built in my like city. Let me tell you this: by the time I die, it probably still won't be done.
Yeah.
Unlike the construction, the movement, the LGBT movement is actually moving places.
yeah. That's great. I mean, any progress is
It's good progress. Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter how small, how large.
yeah. It's something at least.
Yeah.
You're at least creating a small ripple.
I just wish other countries would also participate into that.
Yeah, but again, like I do understand where, like, I know China has like very heavy censorships,
Very heavy, yeah.
very heavy because like
Yeah.
there was this one musician because I covered her in like 11th or 12th grade for like theory of knowledge, so like an IB class, and a lot of her being a Chinese artist did a song about lesbians and gay marriage. Banned in China, banned in like a lot of like the East Asian countries because it was about lesbian and gay marriage, and it's like she tried. Like
Yeah.
all her like I feel like most of her videos always like hit like a serious topic. Like one was like body image and like unrealistic body images and
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that,
Mhm.
and like one was on like gay marriage. One was like how the media has the power to twist every small
yeah.
thing that you say,
Yeah.
things like that. And there are efforts, but a lot of times due to the country itself, those efforts never get to see daylight because
It reminds me of recent Holland
oh, the K-pop.
yeah, K-pop.
Honestly,
it's like
I-
the only open K-pop.
Yeah, he's the only open.
And honestly, it's great to see that he's
Exactly. There was also
standing
like
up.
I remember there was like an open lesbian K-pop artist too, but I don't remember
I
what
don't
happened to
remember.
her. I just remember there was one, but I never like. I'll be honest, like I support Holland, but I haven't heard his music in a long
I've
time.
only listened to the
Neverland.
the
That's
significant one.
yeah, that was like the one I think everyone. And it's so funny because in K-pop they expect male idols to be very touchy and skinship.
And it's honestly the most ironic thing. There was so much wanting for homosexual undertones in K-pop, but then when it actually happens, there's
No.
just distaste for it,
Exactly, and I'm like,
which is
no, I
So
literally had this conversation earlier today with my friend. I was like, I wish more K-pop idols would be open about their sexuality. I think it would be great because there are going to be so many fans that will, no matter what happens, always understand and accept them, and they might not be the original Korean fan base, or they might not even be an international fan base, but there are people who will always accept them for who they are.
I mean, also it's great. I mean, I know it's very scary, especially being a public
Yeah.
figure doing that. It's very scary. But you also have to think about what it can do to other people. Like it
Exactly.
can show other people that it is okay to.
That's
be
the whole
yourself.
issue of it being a public idol is that you have the chance to change things, and what you say and what you do will always have an impact.
Yeah.
No matter what. If it's negative, it will have a negative impact. Like James Charles, like
Oh, God.
yes, he's openly gay, but like look
That's
at
not the
all
representation we want.
the allegations of like
Yeah.
sexual abuse,
That just- yeah.
grooming.
That fuels the whole ideology of the gay men are pedophiles,
Exactly.
which is awful.
Which is not true. Like
no,
Yeah.
it's always like a small community. It's not
Yeah.
like it's,
I mean, it's
it's labeling the whole group, and that's not true. It's
Yeah,
a
like-
very small group.
the
That are
Ron
like
Napa
that.
ruins the bunch, like that ideology.
It's like
Yeah.
again, like all gay men are hot. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look
what
at
is
it.
hot? Like
That's not true.
like what is hot? Like
Stop laughing so hard.
we had this conversation in the
What?
car with Andrew.
I know we did, but this comment.
Thirsty much?
Oh.
I'm
I
just
don't
saying
know.
what you're fucking
I think
thinking.
about the United States and how they really try to block off LGBTQ in kids media.
I think it's regressing, to be honest, because I think we were going so well at one point. You know,
Like I remember when Arthur came out with the teacher being gay and having
Yeah.
a marriage, and like half of the states banned it from being shown.
I love Shira. That I will be.
Oh my God, She-Ra!
Shira, the
Bro,
gayest
we can
show
talk about
ever.
She-Ra for a whole episode. I love it.
Shira. I go around. I'm like, this is the gayest show ever, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I
like,
love
who
She-Ra,
doesn't love two lesbians?
for real?
One's half cat and one's like Thor, but like shorter and a woman.
Adorable.
I will say the only thing I understand about the not showing is like the sexual aspects.
Yeah, yeah, I get like the sexual.
That's the only thing I can understand
but
not showing it.
I
'Cause,
don't
like, I
yeah,
feel the
understand
same
why
thing
they
about
can't
us
show just like
straight
you know, like Love Simon. That was not at all sexual.
No, it was very.
It was.
It was.
It was
sick.
just.
It made me sick because it was so sweet.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
There was like,
this
there was like
Popeye
another
now.
like I remember like scrolling through YouTube Shorts, and this guy was like, I grew up in a very like conservative household, and my father is very homophobic. I don't know, I don't remember who said this, but like one of like a YouTube creator said this, and so he goes, one day I saw a gay couple kissing, and my mind went, ew, no, and I was really scared that I was being homophobic, and I was like turning into my father. But then I turned around and I saw a straight couple kissing, and I also went, ew, no.
Yeah,
I realized then my issue is not with people's sexuality, but the fact that people are in love.
yeah.
Same.
But I think that's the problem is that we don't know how to showcase gay media unless it's only by like kissing the same sex.
Yeah, I feel like
Right, you know what
unless
I
it's at least
mean?
moderately sexualized, like through kissing, like it's hard to show it.
Yeah, I think
Which I mean, honestly,
I would love to see, like, I don't want it as cheesy as Love Simon.
no.
No.
That was very cheesy, but I mean, okay, so one of the movies I do have up touches on this like kind of actually well.
Yeah.
So if we want, we can I can transition.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Into
go
that
for
movie.
Go for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Go
So
transition.
the newest gay kind of gay rights movie that came out. This was came out in 2022. Then January. Yeah, January 5th, 20. Oh. Well, it was 11th of February 2022. So
Okay. Yeah.
literally
Pretty recent.
really, really,
Yeah.
really recent. And the movie is called Badaido, and it's a sequel to its first movie called Badaiho, where it's about this couple who has two kids already. One is 25, 26. The other one's 17, 18. And the parents get pregnant and have another baby. And it's my God. So there's a
Yeah.
whole issue around elder people having sex.
Yeah.
Which if my parents had another baby, I would feel really uncomfortable.
Oh, I would too.
Turns out their next baby is my cat, so which I'm fine with.
Okay. At least you're fine with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Bro.
I would love to have a younger
No, you
sibling.
wouldn't.
I would love to have a little brother or a little sister.
I would
that I
typically
could
ignore
shape.
the fact that my parents birthed.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I could shape them to not be like.
I was trying not to say the other thing.
No,
That gives
but,
me trauma.
Here's the thing,
So
right?
let's skip this topic right now. Not your
Okay,
topic.
fine.
Let's skip the whole gay sex.
Let's get that. Oh my God.
Let's
Talk about the.
But
Yeah.
okay. So
Yeah.
it's about this. Okay, so police officers, right?
Yeah.
Right? Indian police. He's a guy in the Indian police. He's an
Yeah.
Indian police officer,
Is it gay?
and yes, he's a closeted gay.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. I like
Okay, and so he's played by Rajkumar Ran, and his name is Shardul, so we're gonna call him Shard for now, because I'm not gonna say the name every time. And there's a girl called Sumi who's played by Bhumi Pednekar, and she plays a lot of activist roles in movies. And I'm
that. Lovely
really,
for her.
she's so good. Love her. Yeah, so Sumi is a closeted lesbian. So the movie starts off with Sumi getting recommended this dating app for lesbians, and she's on the dating app, and she connects really well with one person, and they agree to meet in person. But it turns out it's a guy who's kind of playing the role.
Excuse me? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So she's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. This is not what I wanted. But the guy keeps on stalking her and creeping her out. So she goes to the police and reports him as a stalker and everything. And the person she reports him to is Charlotte. So while interrogating and kind of beating the guy up and being oh, why are you stalking? He the guy admits oh, she is not interested in that. So you're kind of hinting she's a lesbian.
Okay.
So this kind of piques Charlotte's interest. So he kind of starts following her and trying to can we talk please? And now you have to realize that both of these are in their 30s and they're getting pressured by their parents to get married. And neither of them want to get married because gay and a lesbian. Right? So she finally agrees to talk to him one day. She's like, okay, you need to if I talk to you, will you stop following me around everywhere? He's like, yeah. So he's like, let's get married. And she's like, my dude, my first fiance died. If you don't want to die, don't marry me. And she's like, because he died of natural causes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I'm cursed, sort of. He's like, I don't care. He's being to be honest, I'm gay. And he's like, I know you're a lesbian. She's like, okay, so what does this have to do with marriage? He's like, both of our families are pressuring us to get married. What happens if we get married in legally? And that'll get our families off our back. And we kind of just live like roommates, but we're just legally married. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay, fuck, that's actually really smart. He's like, yeah, I can stay with my boyfriend and you can be a lesbian. Right? So they go through it and they get married. And I kind of feel bad because they're on their honeymoon, right? And his boyfriend comes over and his boyfriend's way younger than him. And he's in his MBA, doing his master's in business and everything. And he's pretty rich. So it's her her husband and her husband's boyfriend on a honeymoon together.
I mean,
That's
Yeah, so it's kind
Yeah.
of like they're so honeymoon's over, they move in, and like they're like moved into an apartment far away from their family and everything so they could live their own lives where nobody knows them. And then their mom fucks it all. His mom fucks it all up by like getting him a house in the police housing. So now they have to keep up the straight couple act. So in the process, she meets like a doctor who's also lesbian, and they start like forming a relationship. And while this is happening, his relationship with his current boyfriend is kind of going down the drains, where his boyfriend's like, I don't want to meet you anymore, I'm too busy, blah blah blah. Kind of because it's like almost like young guy and older guy.
yeah.
yeah. 30's old gay girls.
Yeah.
That's like fucking elderly.
Yeah, so practically while his relationship going down, their relationship is becoming better.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend eventually moves in with them too.
Mhm.
So it's like two of them. So they're like, he's like, wait, hold on, you can't move in here. Like,
Yeah.
people are gonna know. They're like, okay, what then? He'll be like, okay, then just say that you're like,
Yeah.
you're your girlfriend's cousin. So like, that's how they like introduce her to public. But one day, her mom, like the lesbian's mom, comes,
Oh boy.
and they're like, who are you? And they're like, oh, she's my like the gay's cousin now. So it's like, okay, and then the guy's mother comes, and she's like, who are you? And they're like, fuck, she knows it's not my cousin. She knows it's not your cousin. And we said, it's our neighbor's.
It's our neighbor's
It's our
best
neighbor-
friend's cousin.
It's our neighbor's niece. And
Oh,
they
boy.
don't have like a Western toilet, and she prefers Western toilet, so she comes here every now and then just to use the bathroom.
Honestly, fair enough.
Why?
That justifies that.
What's the difference?
So Indian toilets are like how like a regular toilet here you sit. Indian toilet you squat. Like there's no seat to sit on.
Yeah.
You
I don't
kind of
think
just
you want to be
squat.
squatting.
So it's like you have like two things here in the hole here, like the toilet hole
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And you kind of put your foot here and drop your pants and just squat into your shit and pee.
So
Well, it is
Why?
technically more sanitary because you're not
Yeah.
like
Sitting.
sitting.
but you'd have to do exercise. But like, I just want to shit. I don't want to do certain spotting.
Right? So, anyways, like
I
the
know
whole thing.
spotting helps you shit. No, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna end it there.
Does it?
Cut that out. Cut that out.
Apparently,
All of it out.
apparently, I
Oh,
don't
do
know.
you guys not have a?
No, we have a Western toilet.
Oh.
I'm not squatting.
Hey.
might-
Not either.
I mean, like,
Hey,
come to India. I'll take you to.
Oh, boy.
I'll take you to work. I know
To
where
an
a few
Eastern-
are. I know where a few are.
I'll take the training center.
Yeah.
I'll take- See, the nice thing is, everywhere you go in India, you will always have a bidet.
Do you know
I've
what
never
it is?
used.
I've never used one.
No, I don't know what a
cleaning
bidet
your ass
is.
with water. I don't know how
It
you'll.
does it?
What?
You have like so there's two different types. So there's one like there's one attached to the toilet where there's like a mechanism like here almost, and you turn it on and the water just shoots up at your ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And there's another type where you have like a handheld spray and you just kind of clean yourself. with it.
Oh.
Like most
As a
most
gay
homes
man,
have
I
either
don't
one of
know.
those two. Like my house and like my parents' house in Bangalore, they have spray.
Oh.
So you can control like the water pressure.
Instead of just having a jet straight at your ass.
Like no, even Japan has like
Yeah.
those ones.
Yeah.
Like Japanese toilets are 15 times cooler because like
They're
they have like
buns and shit.
yeah, they have like a way like to clean your ass and to like dry your ass by like blowing air. And
Yeah.
they sanitize the toilet too.
Yeah, it's a fucking
Like
wash
if you go to like
machine.
Japanese public toilets, they have all of that. Then like a button that you press if you're like nervous about peeing in public, so it just plays like music out loud. So
Bro, I need that one. I need that feature immediately.
Just imagine playing a RuPaul song.
Oh yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race, may the best woman win. Like I have
Could you
finished my
imagine?
piss now.
When I went to this restaurant in Texas, and they had a TV behind you, in a mirror so you could see.
Oh, that's
You
genius.
could watch the
That's
TV
idea.
while you're
Shitting.
There was this. Okay, so the
because it was a Mexican
one of
restaurant,
the
so they
very
knew.
one of the very few times that we visited Bangalore before moving, we stayed in a hotel called the Oberoi, and I remember this very clearly. The bathroom had a TV in it, so you could like when you're taking a shit or you're brushing your teeth or
Yeah.
you're like taking a shower, you have a fucking TV in there. And me and my brother loved it because my brother got to like take a shit and take baths while watching Tom and Jerry on the TV.
Period.
In my
Period.
yeah, we were like 5. Like he was like he must have been like a 4. No, he must have been like 3 or 4 at the time, and I was like
Yeah.
I'm 4, so like 7 or 8 at the time, and we were like, can we have that in our
Yeah,
bathroom?
that's
But my dad's like,
iconic.
fuck no.
Yeah.
Like when you're old enough, you will soon learn the joys of bringing your phone in the bathroom. But like,
I would enjoy those joys.
Yeah.
So
That
but like until then, there is no fucking way you're like getting anything in our bathroom at home.
yeah.
I thought we took a detour from
Yeah,
gay
to
representations to
gay
shit.
representations in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I,
Dot,
you
dot,
know,
dot.
still
So I-
important.
Yeah. So right. So things happen, and him and his boyfriend eventually break it off, and he's heartbroken. He's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
my boyfriend dumped me, and then he's
Yeah.
like, and then he like kind of realizes this is the same thing he did to his first boyfriend when he came out as gay. Like he had again like an elder boyfriend because he was like the boyfriend was like his gym trainer or something, and he wanted to be like a bodybuilder.
Oh boy.
Like yeah, like
Those
you know, like
never
the
work
people in
out.
the body shows and things like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be one of those, but his father died, so he joined. Like he was given a job as like a police officer or something like that.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
Does something go right in his life? Like what the fuck is going on with him?
So his boyfriend breaks up, and he's like, I did the same thing to him. Like
Yeah.
he's realizing it, right? And anyways, they kind of move on with life. The girls are getting like the girlfriend is getting jealous because she's like, why can't I be like your girlfriend? You know, like why do I have to be like your cousin or like this
yeah.
person's niece and things like that? So they fight, but they kind of get over it, and their like relationship is stronger. And
course.
one of the jobs like the guy was like the gay husband was called on was like to kind of like act as reinforcement around like a gay wedding because like the people the grooms were like really nervous that like you know people would riot and like kind of like injure them or
Yeah.
their guests, so they wanted the police there as protection. And during that time, like he meets this guy called Guru or something, Naik or Nainak, something like that, and they start a relationship, and now it's like a really healthy relationship. Both of them like each other. They're like similar age, and they know like similar experiences. But he's still closeted. So one day, now the baby now they've been married for a year, and the parents are pressuring them like have a baby. 1 year is done.
Yeah.
Make a baby. We want grandkids. So they go home for like Diwali and every like holidays, and he's like, oh, he kind of confesses to his like brother-in-law like, we can't have a baby because she's infertile. And so all the
Wow.
ladies kidnap the bride and go to the clinic. They're like, she's not infertile. What are you talking about? And she's like pissed. She's like, what the fuck did you say to them?
Oh no.
And like secretly, she wants a baby too. Like she's
Yeah.
always wanted to have a kid,
I don't understand that, but yeah.
but she doesn't want to do it through like having sex.
Yeah.
And she makes it very clear eventually she doesn't want to have his baby
Oh.
because he's like he's stupid and a
Is he
man
attractive?
child, and I don't want to have a kid with his genes.
What about his husband and boyfriend?
Yeah, her boyfriend, like her husband.
What about like the boyfriend of the husband?
Well, they weren't dating at the time when this whole spiel
Okay,
started.
that makes a lot of sense.
So they kind of like dated in between the spiel when the thing was going on,
Oh.
right? So yeah, so they go back home, and while going back home, they're like, they send the mother along with them. They're like, go make sure they have a baby now. So she comes home, and like now the girlfriend has to leave because like spare room
Yeah.
that like they would use it goes to their mom. So they're using it, and she's like egging them on, like, have a baby, have a baby, have a baby.
Imagine that. And my mom,
So now they like sleep in the same room
I'd kill
too.
myself.
Yes.
I would
wouldn't.
end it all right there. I'd be like, that's just enough for you.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they sleep in the same room, but they like kind of like don't touch
Yeah,
me,
of course.
sort of thing, right? So she's like, okay, why don't you give a sperm sample and we'll send it to my girlfriend's lab and we can always fit the results. So it's like your fault that we can't have a baby, no matter how hard we try. So they do that, and the mom's like, oh, so it's my son who's the reason why you can't have a baby. So they tell this to the family, and they're like, okay, you can go ahead with adoption.
Honestly, that's like the
So
best
cute.
outcome they could have asked for.
Yeah, because she wanted a baby,
Yeah.
but she didn't want a baby with his genes.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to go through IVF because
Yeah.
that's like expensive too.
Oh, very expensive.
So it's, and she anyways wanted to adopt.
Yeah.
So it's like she's getting like what she wanted, and he's also getting a child because you're like, I kind of want a child. I want to raise someone.
Okay.
So now, like,
Sure.
you know, they're all in a relationship, whatnot, and it's like time, like everything's decided, and they're applying for adoption and everything, and the mom's going home, except the mom misses her train.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know.
So she comes back, and they're like trying to warn the girls, like, get the fuck out, don't do shit, like, but they're not picking up their phone. Why? Because they're having the sexy time.
Yeah.
And the mom walks back into the house, and they're like trying to distract her, but like she walks in and she catches them
I'd say it's an accident.
having
Accident.
with your neighbor's
Under the influence.
with your neighbor's
I
niece
was doing
at 3
cocaine,
p.m.
yes.
At 3
Out-
p.m.
I'm-
in a police living quarters.
I don't know, maybe the guy hit in the fucking head. I didn't have
The guy, so
He
she
got hit in
calls,
the head, that's
she
why
calls
we're
the
doing
like, girl's family. It's like, your daughter's been like sleeping with other women. She's disgusting. And the whole time the guy's like, just don't tell her about me. Don't tell your family about me. So now like,
expose his ass.
I know, like same. I was so pissed, but she was like, oh, nice enough to be like,
She's
fine.
a
I
better
won't.
person than me.
I won't.
She is.
I
She's
know.
a better person than you.
She was like, no, I won't. I won't.
Bitch.
Okay, I'm removing this. This is on Polygon.
Yeah, take
No.
him off.
I won't expose you and things like that, but like she's getting hate like 24/7 from her like brother, from
Yeah.
her parents, and her like dad, who she thought would be the most accepting of her, just like couldn't like face her because it was less like, I don't care if you're lesbian. It was like, why would you never tell me? Like,
Yeah.
Because I'd like to keep my house.
Yeah, because you.
right? And on first of all, she's like controversial and stuff because she's like a female PE teacher.
I see that for you. You mind your body PE teacher.
Right? So she's like a female PE teacher. So everything's like, her parents are like, well, why couldn't you be like a science teacher and take tuitions and make more money? Where she's like, I like PE, and I wanted to go to the handball, like the nationals for like a volleyball team, and you never let me because you didn't think women should do sports. Like, to her mom, her dad was like, I wish you just like, I don't like. Her dad was like, it's hard for me to accept it because like I never realized it, but I just need time right now, and like, you know, maybe over time I will accept it. And so the guy goes back to his house, and they're all shitting on her, and he's like, I can't fucking do this, and he just comes out in front of his whole fucking like 16 member family, because they're like family, extended family,
Yeah.
all together, and they're like, what the fuck? And so practically he's like, she's the first person he calls, and he's like, I came out, I did it. And the first person to come and hug him is his mom. She's like, I love you for who you are, regardless of what it is. Like, I don't know why you couldn't just tell me this earlier. Like, it's okay.
I never understood that. Bitch, what do you mean? I could have got kicked out of the fucking house. What do you mean I should have told you earlier?
Yeah, like, see, again, like, same thing. But, like, they're, at least, like, the thing is that they were earning stable incomes, right?
Yeah.
So, if they wanted to, even if they were kicked out, it's not like they would be totally helpless. Because
Yeah.
they are, like, in their 30s, right? So then it kind of cuts to, like, like, time has passed and everything. So they meet up to, like, you know, get their divorce finalized. But they're, like, they decide, like, we never anyways married because we loved each other. We married each other out of convenience.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean we can't remain friends. I mean, we were great friends, I feel like.
Mhm.
So they agree to remain friends, and just as they're like, okay, I'll see you in court tomorrow to like get the divorce, because they're like,
Mhm.
there's no point, like, in staying married anymore.
Yeah, no.
What happened. But just as they were like about to leave, he gets a notification saying that their adoption, like, they can go through with the adoption, that they have a baby, they can like become
Yeah.
parents, and they're like, okay, maybe let's not do this. So they bring all their families together, and they're like, listen, she's a lesbian who has her own girlfriend. I'm a gay who has my own boyfriend. But we're gonna stay married because
Convenience.
and also because our adoption, what's it called?
Got accepted.
Yeah, we got like accepted to adopt a child.
Mhm.
So, and both of us want this child. We wanna, we wanna raise the child together with our like partners as
yeah.
well. So we're gonna stay married. And if you guys want, you can be part of this baby's life. And if not, you can fuck off.
I find that, how are you gonna share a baby between two different relationships? I find that very
It
hard.
gets even better. So
Oh my
now
God.
they cut forward in time to the baby's like ceremony, like, how do you say it? Like
ceremony.
puja, like how do you call it? Like, it's like blessings almost, like kind of blessing the baby.
The baptism?
Not like a baptism necessarily. It's kind of like,
Oh, I know.
like, I hope you like stay safe in life, and I hope like you have a good life and a good prosperous life. It's not like, oh, you are like free from sin.
We don't have that. We don't
It's
have
kind of
that.
like, it was almost like a thing. Like, see, in Indian households, like, even to like enter a new house, we have like a puja, which is kind of like a ceremony, religious ceremony. It's kind of to say good things will start now, like to kind of like
Yeah.
get rid of bad
I
luck.
was with that as good luck, have fun.
Yeah, good luck.
Like
Kind of like a good luck
culture is
ceremony.
not so
We
like
don't have that.
like religion focused. Like most of American folks are like very minorly like impacted by religion, if not at all.
Mm.
Like for my
Yeah.
example, for my family, we are not a religious family at all.
No.
Minus quite.
Yeah, otherwise would be the definition of snares. So yeah, so like yeah,
So it's kind of like, yeah, something like we want to ward off bad luck, evil from you, and things. It's just kind of like wishing the baby, hope you have a safe and good life. Kind of like be happy, sort of thing.
reminds me of like the
It's not like,
German term Gesundheit, which is like health, like
Yeah.
we wish you health. It's like what it's
it's
supposed
kind
to
of like that, yeah. So both of them are sitting and getting it done, and the guy, so the husband technically, goes, come here, like, why don't you sit? You're also going to be the mother of the baby. So she comes and sit, and he calls her, so the wife calls her, the guy's boyfriend is like, comes, and he's like, no. She's like, dude, you're going to be part of this baby's life, whether you want it or not. You might as well just like come and do this with us. So it's practically like the baby has a mom and dad. If I'm the baby, I'd be like, this is my mom, and this is my mom's girlfriend. Now this is my dad, and this is my dad's boyfriend. I have 2 dads, 2 moms.
Bro.
And
not married.
that's how. But see, here's the thing, right? Because you can in India, it's still illegal to adopt if it's in the same-sex marriage, and they would never have been able to adopt if they got the divorce, because you
Yeah.
have to be married to be able to adopt. So because of that, they were like, we can still live our own lives with our own partners and still find a way to co-parent, because both of us want this baby now.
I mean, it's not like they're gonna like come to the house like, hey, you guys still fucking heterosexual? Like,
Yeah,
knock knock.
they actually like over like the course of the movie, both couples end up like becoming like really really good friends with each other. So it's almost like
A big family.
yeah, it's like the baby has a huge, very fucking gay family.
I love that for them.
Is that like a thing? Like, do some gay couples in India do?
I mean, I wouldn't be
stuff like that
surprised.
for adoption?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
Wow.
that's like the whole point of the movie, because there was like a scene towards the end, just after he came out, before like the whole adoption thing went through, that they like the lesbians ran under a flag because of a pride parade was going on.
Mhm.
so they had like blocked off the roads and everything, and they were like running under the pride flag.
Yeah.
The guy's boyfriend was there hosting the whole parade, and he was there serving as a protection, and he came up and was like, come on, enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
you can be on duty and still enjoy. And that's kind of how he came out to the cops. So,
Wow.
like,
I love that.
exactly. So it's very interesting because, you can never have, like, in India it's still illegal for same-sex
Yeah.
marriage. And this-
It reminds. This is the show it reminds me of. It's basically like the same premise. It's
Uh-huh.
two weddings and a funeral, and I know it's
that sounds like the name of a movie.
But it's essentially a gay man and a lesbian enter a marriage, but there is no actual deeper meaning. It's just gay.
Yeah, because like it's just convenient.
Yeah. Except this
Yeah.
time they don't want children. Fair enough.
But
Well,
yeah, so that's like the recent one, and I think it does it really well by like, kind of explaining like how difficult it is to be openly gay in India. And like there's a show on Netflix called The Big Day, and it's centered around Indian weddings. And I think it was season 2, because each season only has like 3 or 4 episodes. And season 2 or season 1 had a gay couple get married, and they were like, we wanted to find a priest who could do the marriage for us, but no priest, except for the one we found literally 2 hours before the wedding, would be willing to conduct a gay marriage.
So,
that
And
sucks.
They like barely found one in time. Like literally, one of the priests showed up the night before to like set everything up, and when he realized it was a gay marriage, he backed off. He was like, I can't do this because it's not right.
he was like,
And
"No,
they were like
this."
running around trying to find like
Jacob thinks he's so cool for quoting Jam.
I'm gonna get sued by God.
Sorry.
Continue. Ignore my antics.
right. So they like barely found one right in time for the wedding, but the one they did find was like totally okay. And he's like, I think gay marriages are very cool.
Aw.
He's like, I
Love
like
that.
this, and he's like, I want to do more gay marriages. He's like, I think this is the way India needs. People need to be more accepting of it. And like another stand-up comedian made a joke about like gay marriages. He's like, gay marriages and lesbian marriages will be 2 very different events. Lesbian marriages will be both the brides show up, no party, just 2 handshakes, and we're out of there. Whereas like a gay marriage, because like Indian weddings are a whole big thing,
Yeah.
and like literally, like in a lot of like people's like marriage, they have a thing where it's like a dance party to bring the groom to the bride. So he's like, if it's 2 gay marriages, they'll be like have dancing and having like the the ceremony at the same time. Then in like a Congo line they'll be doing it. And I was like, I love that idea of like,
Yes.
And here's a sad thing though. All my aunts and uncles are married, so I would never get to be in one unless one of my cousins are gay.
I mean,
Because I'm the oldest, so technically I have to get married first. And then everyone else gets to get married.
we all have a gay cousin. I am a gay cousin. And I some areas.
I don't know if any of
I have like
I have a gay cousin.
Well,
A
see,
gay
here's the
uncle,
thing.
A gunkle.
A gunkle.
Gay uncle.
do you
I
really?
love that.
Yeah.
See,
Doesn't
here's
talk to my family.
here's
I
the
wonder
thing.
why.
Most of my cousins are under the age of 11.
Okay, let's not talk
Oh.
about this anymore. Next up.
I have one cousin brother who's 1 year younger than me, and he's like 6'5".
Oh yeah.
We
that-
call him Giraffe very unlovingly for a reason.
Oh.
Fair enough.
He's also very much a stick, and if you're watching this, you stole.
He's not gonna watch this, but
In case you're watching,
In case you're watching
India,
this, you stole my whole spiel of being the girl with chains and everything and wearing black. I did that before you, and you need to back off and find a new style.
But
I'm
curious.
Jan copyright this.
I'm pissed. No,
I'm not
my
gonna stop.
brother went and saw him like a few months ago before he went to college, and he was like totally rocking that emo look, and I was like, me? I was the one who was wearing chains first on my pants. I was the one wearing all black first. And I, on top of that, was the one who acts more emo than you. Get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
I'm actually depressed, so you don't deserve that.
Exactly. Technically, I shouldn't be saying this because I am off of antidepressants for almost 1 year. But at one point, I was depressed.
I'm under antidepressants.
Okay, well,
Cancel that. Keep that out of there.
Haley, cut.
Cut the shit. Cut the tape. That out.
well,
I like how we're telling what she needs to cut now.
Girl, she knows what she needs to
I
cut.
know. Okay, well, to end,
Gay representation.
To
We love
end-
to see it.
we
I
love.
love
Conservatives
the
hate
way
this
gay LGBTQ plus represent. There was like a new movie released about like a guy falling in love with a transgender girl. Haven't seen it. It's like a good idea, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. The plot sounded very artificial, but like I do like the fact that it is about transgender and acceptance of transgender. But
Well,
Yeah. So
This
sum
is a
up the
great-
video.
Yes.
Representation matters.
yes,
and
representation matters. Gay
Yes.
rights.
yeah, gay rights, sticks.
you are a horrible
Oh,
person
all
if
that
you
stuff.
don't support the
We love
LGBTQ plus
I love
community.
Period.
And
Hey,
cheer
likes
up.
different things. That's fine.
Voltron.
Yep. See ya. Bye.
Bye.